Hey there everyone, my name is Samuel Johnson, and I am hot. By which I mean I'm sweating. I'm not actually attractive in that regard, although I'm sure that some people will probably give me some positive praise about that. But we're not here to talk about my own self-worth. You're probably wondering who the hell this egotist probably is, so allow me to explain. I am a very low-grade YouTuber who for the last few years has made it my main shtick to do various vlogs on shows and franchises that I myself enjoyed growing up, or just are things that I genuinely have an interest in. Typically how the vlogs go is that every Friday I sit down and watch an entry into whatever show or franchise I'm doing a vlog series on, and then after I'm done watching that entry, I sit in this here chair and then just basically talk in front of my tablet for an inordinate amount of time. Basically, I kind of ramble on about the things I liked, things I didn't like. I do a long-ass plot summary before I get to those points, and typically, the vlogs are unprofessional as hell. I have no scripts. There's only so many times that I actually take notes, and there are plenty of times where I just ramble on or just stop talking halfway through a sentence because, hey, I think that this might sound better, and basically, the vlogs are just a mess. But for whatever reason, I have managed to trick a select number of people into thinking I'm somehow good at this shit, and so I keep doing it. Mostly because I just think it's fun to talk about this sort of thing. I love ranting and raving in front of my tablet. And you'll also notice that this is not a Friday vlog. We'll get to that. Well, now, basically, the shows and franchises I've looked at over the years have varied. I've looked at stuff from Steven Universe, Ben 10 in various forms, Danny Phantom, Shaolin Showdown, Code Lyoko. Hell, my current vlog that I'm doing on Fridays is a vlog series focusing on each of the Pokemon movies. But the thing is, one of the franchises that I did a Friday vlog on was the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And typically what I did for those vlogs was that I just talked about the movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, this vlog series is still technically ongoing, as those films are still coming out, as whenever a new film comes out, I usually give it a 2-week berth before I actually talk about it in full. But the thing is, there are other aspects of the MCU that I've gone over. I've done another kind of sort of side vlog wherein I looked at Sony's attempt at making a cinematic universe and basically how they botched that up. But another vlog series that I've done a vlog on was a Disney Plus Marvel show. Now, when it comes down to the Disney Plus Marvel shows, my relationship with them is complicated. You'll never see me do a vlog on most of them, but I do like them. For the most part. When it comes down to it, I find their existence to be kind of dumb. That does not mean they're bad. Like I said, I like them. I just don't like that they exist for why they exist. Basically, for whatever reason, someone higher up thought that these shows needed to be essential viewing if you wanted to understand the next few MCU films. And as a result, I kind of made it my own personal philosophy to not watch the shows unless they're important to a movie. As a result, while I'm aware that there are plenty of people who watch shows like WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, or other shows but when they came out, I didn't actually watch those shows until they became important for a movie. And I know that some of you are going to probably think that's archaic, but that's just how I feel. I just think it's dumb that they're necessary viewing in order to watch the movie, so I'm not going to give them the time of day unless they're necessary. And again, that's not speaking to the quality of them, because I do like each of the shows I've watched, although some are better than others, with the worst one in my opinion being Secret Invasion, and that's mostly just because of the AI-generated opening and the sadly disappointing finale. But otherwise, I can't think of too many complaints with the shows. However, there was one Disney Plus MCU show that I did watch regardless of whether it was associated with a film or not. And that show was What If. And the only reason I did a vlog, I watched that show was because, well, I love the comics that What If is based on. They are some of my favorite comics of all time, though I will admit that both the comics and the show are kind of hit and miss with their story. Sometimes they can have a really fantastic story that takes full advantage of the premise it's given and runs with it to hell and back. Other times it feels like they fumbled a ball and don't really know what they're doing and just are throwing random shit at the wall to see what sticks. That's not to say. Regardless, though, even if the quality of the stories in What If tend to vary, I still enjoy What If, both the comics and the show, just on the premise alone. And I even did a vlog on What If, and it was typically a Wednesday vlog, like what we're doing now, catching on. But the thing is, something that What If the show did was that every season they had an episode wherein they adapted a famous Marvel alternate universe. Well, famous in air quotes there, because the last adaptation they did for Marvel AU was for a miniseries that I don't know if many people actually are aware of. But regardless, that's semantics and being technical. But for Season 3, they did an adaptation of a miniseries called Marvel 1872, which was basically the Marvel Universe set in the Old West. For Season 2, they did an adaptation of the Marvel 1602 alternate universe, which, honestly, is one of my favorite comics of all time, even though it was penned by the scumbag that is Neil Gaiman. But hey, let's not talk about that asshole right now. But Season 1 of What If did an adaptation of a rather unique Marvel alternate universe. One that has been that many comics fans are probably at least somewhat aware of, and it's an alternate universe that has been revisited time and again. And, well, if you're wondering what that alternate universe is, well, then you clearly haven't read the title of this video. But, just in case, that alternate universe was that of Marvel Zombies. So, for those of you who have not actually seen the episode that adapted this alternate universe, or just aren't aware of Marvel Zombies in general, allow me to give an explanation. As the name implies, the Marvel Zombies universe is an alternate Marvel universe where the majority of the superpower population, both good and evil, were infected with a zombie virus. Now, unlike regular zombie viruses in most forms of fiction, this zombie virus didn't make them mindless, well, zombies. They still had their powers, their personalities were left intact, and so were their memories. So the zombies in the Marvel Zombies universe could still think, act, and rationalize. But like traditional zombies, they had an unquenchable desire to consume flesh. And as a result, the heroes and villains of the Marvel Universe basically wound up eating most of their world's population to the point where their Earth is pretty much extinct. And how the universe even got started was, well, in the pages of Ultimate Fantastic Four here, as this story that I'm holding in my hand right now was actually a story that involved the zombie Reed Richards contacting his Ultimate Universe counterpart and tricking him into opening a gateway right to the Marvel Zombies universe, just because zombie Reed Richards wanted to lead his Fantastic Four and a few other zombies to the Ultimate Universe so they could snack on their world's population. It ended in failure, obviously, as the good guys did manage to beat the bad guys, but from this story, the Marvel Zombies universe was revisited in various miniseries. Now, this is not all of them. I do not own all the Marvel Zombies comics. It's a collection that I'm still actively building. But I do own the original miniseries, its sequel, Marvel Zombies 2, right here. Then Marvel Zombies 3, which is actually the first time the Marvel Zombies universe crossed over with the main Marvel universe. There's this one, which is Deadpool, Merc with a Mouth, wherein Deadpool teams up with his Marvel Zombies counterpart, who has now just been reduced to a head. It's great. I love it. It's great. And he does actually visit the Marvel Zombies universe. And I own these ones, which are tie-ins to Secret Wars 2015. Again, sorry about the glare there. Both of which I read this one. Still have not had time to read this one, unfortunately. It's on my list. Trust me again. If I didn't want to read it, I wouldn't own it. But I just never found the time to read it, sadly to say. But again, the Marvel Zombies universe is just some genuinely macabre, dark fun. It's genuinely interesting to see this universe and to see the heroes and villains' reactions to their zombified states. Some of them take it better than others. Some of them roll with it. But it's honestly a really dark, twisted, and macabre premise that, quite frankly, is just a lot of fun to see in motion. If you haven't read the Marvel Zombies comics, I highly recommend them, and just because, quite frankly, they're just a mess. Look at this cover. Look at this cover. This is what you can expect from Marvel Zombies. It is macabre, it is gruesome, but that's kind of why I love it. And that's just coming from someone who gets squeamish about this sort of thing. So, again, I recommend it. It's great. Again, I like it. With that all said, going back to What If, in Season 1 of What If, they had an episode that did their own version of the Marvel Zombies, focusing on an alternate version of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where the majority of the world's population was infected with a zombie virus, which was basically caused by an alternate version of events from Ant-Man and the Wasp, with Janet Van Dyne being infected with it, all in the quantum realm, and bringing the infection with her when she got back to the regular-sized universe. As a result, the world basically fell to the zombie plague, with most of the heroes and villains being infected as well. And while they weren't exactly like their comic counterparts, as the zombies in that universe they could not speak and were mostly just guttural, clearly they still had some form of intelligence, because they could plan, they could think, they still clearly had their memories, as at one point the zombie Scarlet Witch saw Vision get killed, and she clearly got pissed off about it. And on top of that, if they didn't have any of their memories from when they were alive, some of the zombies wouldn't even be able to use their tech or be able to fight as well as they do, because the zombie versions of Captain America, Falcon, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Wong could still utilize their powers and abilities and technology just as adeptly as they could when they were alive, meaning that clearly some part of who they were remains up there. It's just that their higher intelligence has been basically clouded with an unquenchable desire to consume and eat living flesh. So obviously they're not exactly like the comics, but I did remember thinking the episode had potential. I do think it was just kind of a decent episode. Felt like it had a lot going for it, but it just couldn't. But it felt like it stopped before it really hit the zeitgeist. But well, if we didn't have any, if the Marvel Zombies we didn't have anything to talk about regarding Marvel Zombies, I wouldn't be doing this here vlog, would I? Because guess what? As of today, as of the time I'm doing this specific video, Disney Plus has released a spin-off series for that episode of What If, and as you could probably tell, it's called Marvel Zombies, a 4-episode miniseries focusing on this specific variant of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and just how the survivors of the zombie apocalypse come to terms with what's happened to their world and how they basically try to combat it. I have not seen it yet, obviously, because I want to go in blind for this, but, well, I figured since I already did a vlog series focusing on What If, why not do a vlog series on the spin-off? Plus, it gives me a chance to talk about the Marvel Zombies imprint. And I kind of want to bring more attention to the imprint. I love Marvel Zombies. Again, it's probably not my favorite alternate universe, but it's a really damn good one. And I genuinely recommend you read the comics. So, why not? So, basically, what I'm going to be doing is that for the next 4 weeks, I am going to be doing a special side vlog on every Wednesday, wherein I will watch an episode in Marvel Zombies and then record my thoughts on it. Now, I want to make something clear right now. No spoilers, please. I am aware, like I said, all 4 episodes have been released at once, and I am aware that there are plenty of people who binge-watched all 4 episodes and now know the entirety of what happened in the series. Thing is, though, I did not. And what I want to do for this is that I want to look at it on a week-by-week basis like I've done on my regular vlogs. If I do it like one day after the other, the vlogs just get tiresome for me, so I basically just want to try and keep it as a weekly thing. So, again, if you are aware what happens later in the series, no spoilers, please. I want to go in blind. So, as such, yeah, basically, I just don't spoil things from me. And again, if you would prefer that I watch all the episodes at once, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but this is just how it is. But I will say that if you do want to watch a series, just find it on Disney Plus, because like I said, all 4 episodes are out there, and hell, you'll probably have a good time, because I've been hearing nothing but good things about the show. But with all that out of the way, I should probably just get to talking about the show now, shouldn't I? Because, well, it's time we enter a rather macabre section of the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse, as we see what happens when the dead learn to fly with the MCU perspectives. Zombies edition.